Hello there. By the way they're acting, you'd think the European Union needed our trade. So the European Union is going to take the UK to the World Trade Organization because we won't give them our business. Yes, they want our fish, they want City of London trade, they want Northern Ireland, they want Gibraltar, and now they want our wind farms. It's an EU power grab. Yes, Brussels wants to take us to the international courts to force us to let them build and operate our wind farms for us. All because the UK has attracted a lot of wind farm experts and companies into the UK, and according to The Sun, offshore wind companies have to submit plans showing how they will ensure more parts are made in the UK by 2030 in a move to bolster British firms. And the EU has gone off the deep end, saying we can't do that. The Eurocrats are demanding that any wind farm contracts must be offered up to the EU as well under the Brexit trade deal, or the UK would be breaching WTO rules, they claim. And this appears to be all about floating wind farms, of which there are 3 in the world as I understand it, with the largest of them being off the Aberdeenshire coast. The UK government wants more of them, and for them to be built and operated by UK companies. Now, as far as I can make out, wind turbines with fixed seabed foundations are limited to water depths of about 27 to 28 fathoms, that's about 165 feet. But those that float can be moored to the seabed in the same way that oil rigs are, in deeper water and much further away from the shoreline. And this means they can be placed in specific areas and generate much more energy where the winds are stronger. So our government ministers are said to be very excited about this prospect. Well, if it's green, then Carrie will be excited. And therefore, by default, Boris is excited. So ministers have to fall into line and be excited too, of course. And Boris has already called the UK the Saudi Arabia of wind. Or was he referring to the Westminster bubble? Now, I've never been a particular fan of these wind farm things. They just don't appear to be consistent enough to me. And the other thing is that we have to pay more to use energy sources like gas for our cookers or to generate the electricity we use via the green gas levy in order to make these huge renewable energy sources financially viable. Without them, our energy costs could be far lower. As MP Robert Halfon said recently while watching energy prices spiral. There is an elephant in the room, and that is the so-called energy tax green levies, which amount to 25% of the electricity bill that we all pay. So surely once fossil fuels are removed from the energy mix, won't that mean our bills will actually increase a lot? I mean, it's not like we haven't already got large-scale wind and solar assets out there, is it? So we do have economies of scale already, don't we? So I'm still not convinced, but I am open to persuasion. And if it gives the EU a bit of a headache in the process. Anyway, according to The Sun, the EU is within hours of taking legal action against the UK, that small, insignificant place off their coast that was meant to have economically collapsed on Brexit Day 1. But it seems they need our business and our money. And it would also remove employment opportunities from the UK too. So they don't want much, do they? According to The Sun, a Whitehall source told them, with Britain snapping up offshore wind factories and the thousands of jobs they come with, it's no surprise Brussels are throwing their toys out of the pram. They're clearly envious of the progress we're making. And on the news of this France and Spain-sponsored legal joust with the UK, we hear that our lawyers think we have a watertight case. And the Business Secretary Kwasi Kwarteng says we will rigorously contest any Brussels-led legal challenge. Now, we have a global situation that is clearly illustrating that countries that do not have full internal energy security are at risk. Just look at the situation over Ukraine and the way that German reliance on Russian gas is dictating the response of the West. The UK is right, therefore, to look at ways of increasing that energy security by building and operating those wind farms here. And it would not do our energy security much good to end up handing the lot over to EU firms, would it? And here's another thought for you. Just consider if the UK opened up its full energy potential and ended up supplying a fair proportion of it to the EU. EU energy security would be more in our hands, and Putin's power would be reduced. Now I know that's never going to happen, because the EU would far prefer to let Putin have the energy whip hand than let it pass to the UK. But the EU will not be happy at the thought of a completely energy secure UK sitting off of its coast. So no wonder Brussels wants to get its sticky claws into these contracts. Now, another aspect to these floating wind farms is that as their use expands, the amount of water available to trawlers is reduced. So it won't be long before Macron starts screeching again. That is, if he is able to hang on to his presidency after the April elections bearing down on him. Personally, I hope the French voters have cottoned on to him and he gets a damn good stuffing. Anyway, because there's a worldwide political push for it, low-carbon energy will become more and more of an asset as time goes on. With countries that rely on gas and coal finding their products getting green import tariffs and other restrictions slapped on them. And finding that international investment finance starts drying up as the money flows to the required green industrial complex. At the end of the day, if these floating wind farms are the way ahead and they will improve our UK energy security, then great. But let's do it properly and ensure they are British made and operated. Let's keep the investment, the jobs, the expertise and the resulting income inside the UK. And if we can flog some of the excess power to the EU, then even better. What we don't need is Brussels sticking its oar into our energy market and trying to dictate how we operate these wind farms. As I've already said, energy security is a huge issue now. It's a national security issue, and the EU will do all it can to try and upset that apple cart for us, be in no doubt. The EU is built upon the idea that no country should be secure in and of itself in anything, whether it be food, energy, fish or defence. The Brussels machine survives on interdependence while being in the centre of the web dictating the rules. We are now free of that sticky web, and so we should be making ourselves more self-sufficient and secure as time goes on. In fact, I would argue we need some sort of legal self-sufficiency ratchet that forces us to source more internally next year than we did last year. Or at least a mechanism that forces debate on it. It would make us much more secure and more green into the bargain. So what's your opinion on the EU trying to snatch our wind farms? Please like and comment below. Please subscribe and like this video, buy a mug and support me on Patreon or PayPal, and thank you for watching.